A blueprint, not that anyone uses those anymore, feels official and clear. If you've got plans for your house, you must be all set. But actually, no. There's so much information left out of just a 2D floor plan, and there's also so much room for miscommunication and missed opportunities if you're only thinking in plan. So if you want to remodel the right way, you need more than a floor plan. You need a master plan. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you how to do today. Hi there, I'm Della Hansman, architect and mid-century obsessive. By the way, if you're looking for more ways to improve on your home, if you're trying to pull together a great plan and kick off a remodel, I would love to help you with that. Start by checking out my free class on planning a mid-century remodel to fit your life and budget. The link is in the description below this video. A master plan is comprehensive. It's more than having a lot of pins on your Pinterest board, although that can feel fun. And it's more than just having a few subcontractors come by the house and tell you, yep, the inspection was right, you need a new HVAC system or a new roof. Although those meetings are helpful. And it's more than a perfectly tidy, organized set of floor plans or blueprints for your house. If we think about a blueprint as a roadmap, a master plan is the guidebook for your entire trip. It's got advice, references, people you can talk to, examples, and priority order. It's more than that. More than that, though, it's customized. It's a travel guide you are making to suit your exact preferred trip. I believe no homeowner should ever take on a remodel without some master plan thinking. Now, from a certain point of view, everyone who has ever remodeled has had a master plan of sorts. The master plan might read like, I will make every decision on the fly, or my contractor will just figure that out for me. Or maybe my 47 Pinterest boards will save me. When I'm asked the night before the purchase needs to be made what kind of handle we're going to use in the house, I will comb through every single one of them in a panic, realize that they don't link to actual products, and then choose the one that's available at Home Depot with no shipping delay. But those unspoken, unwritten master plans, as you might guess from my tone, aren't the best way to plan something as complex, as expensive, and as important as the changes you're making to your home, hopefully to last you for the rest of the time you live there. My great-grandmother and namesake was fond of pithy Midwestern aphorisms. She used to say, a stitch in time saves nine. And it's true. Early planning ensures a better outcome. If we think about it another way, there are a number of decisions that you will have to make at some point in your construction process. Before the house is finished, finishes will be chosen. Handles, hardware, fixtures will all be selected. The layout will be finalized, and additions will be made or not made. All of these choices have to exist before the project can be completed. I'm just proposing that you will feel better about them if you make them once at the beginning of the process, or even go over them several times calmly with a partner long before the deadline for each decision hits you. A big part of what I do for my clients and teach to my students is just making decisions in advance before they become future emergencies. But with that extra time also comes the leeway, the freedom to dig a little deeper into why you want what you want and what is the best way to make it happen. You can set yourself up for a remodel that's fundamentally different and better, not just cheaper, faster, and easier than the one you would if your master plan was, I'll figure that out when it comes. The magic in a master plan always comes from your why. Knowing the reasoning behind your choices helps you really care, helps you decide what to do first, next, and last, and where to put your dollars, and in the end, reminds you why it was all worth it while you're in the middle of the process of the chaos, cost, and construction. And by the way, a master plan doesn't only benefit you, it also is a favor you can do to your contractor. They want a clear plan of action that they can execute on. They want to know exactly what's in your mind so they can price it and give you realistic estimates of what the work will cost and how long it will take. So the clearer your plan is before you get in touch with them, the more they can give you exactly what you're looking for and then get on with their lives, happy on both sides. Okay, so a master plan's great. How do you get one? Well, you can think through this process yourself by following 5 easy alliterative steps. They all start with D. Dream, discover, distill, draft, and develop. Let's talk a little more about each one. The first step, long before we get to blueprints or floor plans, is the dream phase. This is about asking yourself why you're planning to remodel in the first place. Finding your why, and it's not just the finishes are dated, even though that's there, getting a little bit deeper. The finishes are dated, therefore I don't enjoy cleaning up and spending time in the kitchen, and we order out more than I would like us to. Or the finishes are dated, and I don't feel comfortable inviting my neighbors over for a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, so we're not socializing as much as we'd like to. Or the finishes are dated, and I'm worried there are unsafe materials, so I'm spending all of my time chasing my toddler out of the kitchen. All of these whys underlying will help you decide whether you're looking for a kitchen layout that's more practical, a social space for your family, a hosting space. When I start working with a new client, I'm very interested in their why. For each of the spaces we're touching, what is the life they want to live in that space? How is the house not serving, not creating a container for the kind of home they want to be in? And what can we do to adapt that? Sometimes those are big changes and sometimes they're small ones, but we can determine what's important about the remodel when we know the why. Dreaming the details of your remodel is always the essential first step, and it comes long before pricing or Pinterest. Then we have to work with reality. Discover, the second step of the master plan process, is also part of the pre-design phase. Before we're solving problems, we're identifying them. So you need to get a little familiar with your house. Now, I'm not asking you to become a contractor or an architect. You don't need a detailed blueprint of what exists, although a rough floor plan or existing layout is handy. But you can also discover your house by hiring an inspector and following them around the house while they talk about it. You can take detailed photos, you can do a little bit of research into the history of your house, or even just talk to the people who've lived on your street the longest about what the house was like 20 or 30 years ago. When you know a little bit more about what's going on in the house, you can predict potentially costly or bottom line affecting changes that will have to be made. And as your expertise in the house grows, in your own home grows, you can seek out more information about it and confidently interface with contractors and other experts you meet along the way. The discovery phase is all about confidence building. It also helps to identify any future roadblocks to the remodel. The third pre-design step is distill. And this is where we focus what mid-century style means to you. This might be related to the build date of your house. If you've got a modest 1952 ranch and you love a time capsule, you're right in line. But if what you really love is the more mod styles of the late 60s, you can tune the house forward. You can add more bold details, stronger built-in presence. You can change the exterior update so that the house feels a little bit more mod and less mid-century traditional. That's perfectly fine. When I work with clients, I want to know what lights them up. Favorite movies and TV shows from the past, if there is a European style we're rolling in, if they're more Frank Lloyd Wright organic modern or atomic. Putting a name on your style can really help, but in general, distilling what are the materials, the finishes, the colors is going to help you focus and eventually is going to turn itself into the style guide, which will help simplify every decision you make along the way. Once we've got the pre-designed steps assembled, you know what your why is. You've dreamed of the house you want. You've discovered what's going on in the house you have, and you have distilled the personal version of mid-century that works for you. Now it's time to explore options, and this happens in the draft phase. When I create a master plan for my clients, I typically create 3 different versions of most of the areas of the house, and they go up or down a scale of complexity and also expense. In some cases, a Scheme 1 solution can get everything done that's necessary and we don't need to do anything more. In other cases, it's an area that's so important, so currently mismatched with the dreams for the homeowner, or just an opportunity to make the house so dramatically cool that we go all the way up to Scheme 3. Our goal is never to have our clients pick just one, but instead to have them mix and match and help tune their budget and their priority list based on the dreaming they've done up front, knowing what's important to them, and figuring out which ideas light them up the most. This all comes together in the develop phase. There's a reason we call this last stage develop rather than say done or even documented. Develop indicates that we're not quite finished with all of the choices. There's room to make changes, there's room to improve and to adapt as you meet changing conditions. As you move past draft into develop, you will have a document that has, yes, floor plans, but also example images, views, a document that you can share with your contractor that will help you get your building permit and that will help you communicate clearly with everyone that you interface with through the process. Depending on your timeline, you may be moments from beginning construction, already in the middle of it, or still dreaming of a remodel that's years away. But no matter how much or little time you have, any amount of time you spend going through the 5 steps of the master plan method, dreaming, discovering, and distilling what you like about the house, and then drafting and developing your master plan will set you up for a better remodel than you could have had without them. So like I said at the top, everyone does sort of have a master plan, even if that master plan is, I'll figure it out when I get there. But my goal for you, particularly as a mid-century homeowner, is that you approach all these decisions calmly and with a big planning window so that you can push back on HGTV generic ideas and keep the mid-century charm alive in your house, or even put it back if it's already been remodeled out of the house. I would love to help you plan a master plan or teach you how to DIY a master plan for yourself inside of my Ready to Remodel program. You can learn more about the master plan method in the links below this video, and I would love to hear from you about the progress you've already made on your mid-century home or the questions you have as you plan a perfect remodel for you and for your mid-century house. Good luck.